Hey, welcome back to Daily Justice. Our topic today is getting through a high conflict divorce without losing your sanity. My guest today is Mark Hodgson, family law attorney here in Spokane. What defines a high conflict divorce and why are they so difficult to manage?
Well, high conflict as far as the legal case is concerned is just how many times your case touches the court, right? I mean, if you really think about it, high conflict in any divorcing couple, I mean, you're obviously there's going to be conflict somewhere because you're getting a divorce. You're no longer being together, and oftentimes conflict will come. But like, let's say you go to court over the child missing school on your time and you're supposed to get them there. And then the next week you go and you get them for being late to the student-teacher conference. And then there's another one. They're arguing over everything and constantly in court and constantly doing that. So that's what I would consider a high conflict divorce. There can be high conflict aspects of many divorces, such as the communication style between the people, right? So, if you have someone who's got a personality disorder or, bipolar or depressed, and then the other person, could have a drug problem, I mean, then you're going to end up with some really interesting arguments. And that could also be sort of flavors of high conflict. So the way I generally look at it is, how many times do you have to go to court to resolve everything? How many times does this case have to touch a court? Because in order to go to court, you have to pay a lawyer. When you're with a lawyer, you pay the lawyer to work the case, to go to court, then you get the issue resolved, and then you're right back in court on another possibly petty issue or small issue or maybe a big issue. But either way, you're constantly using someone in a black robe to essentially parent for you. I see it a lot in kids' cases, but it can be in property cases where maybe somebody just doesn't want to pay their maintenance or alimony. Maybe somebody's always behind on child support and doing it just to make the other parent mad. I mean, that's really what I look for high conflict divorce. But this is more of a fun question for me because it's really not a legal question. Because how do you survive it? Well, how do you survive anything? And you take good care of yourself. The first thing I'd tell you to do is I bill out at $350 an hour. My associates bill out at $300 an hour. We do not know how to save your marriage. We only end marriages. That's all we're good at. And so if you need a counselor, one, they're cheaper and they're more skilled at this than we are. And I recommend therapy for everybody. I cannot think of a better thing for you to do if you're going through the complexities of divorce and you're looking down the barrel of a high conflict divorce. The best person you can talk to is the person in your corner that's not your lawyer, that you can tell everything to, you can tell them irrelevant things, and they can give you life skills. The other thing I can tell you to do is look at it holistically. I mean, Dave, I can't tell you how many times, well, I can tell you how many times this has happened. When a client comes to me and says, I lost my wife, we're arguing all the time, we're constantly in court, I lost my job, I got a DUI, I got arrested for assault, and then I started drinking heavily and it all came together. I've never heard that. I've never heard, then I did drugs and it all came together. I've never heard that I got really angry and yelled at my ex and it all came together. So your behavior and how you deal with it, one, chemicals, people love them, I get it, but if you can stop the chemicals during the process, it's pretty helpful and it's going to help you a great deal. So let's think about this. You've gone to therapy, you've really taken a look at maybe some of the triggers in your life, such as drugs and alcohol. You possibly are going to surround yourself with a support system that's going to love and care for you, regardless of the legal outcome, regardless of the cost. And then you're also finally going to consider your own actions. And, oftentimes, like, you chose to have a child with this person or children. Well, they were okay for that. So why do you hate them now? And you got to really look at your own actions and take some responsibility for yourself. But it's not a legal question necessarily. A good lawyer can help too. I mean, if you're prevailing in court, that definitely does soften the blow.
Well, here's a legal follow-up then. How do the courts handle high conflict custody disputes?
That's a loaded question. A lot of times they'll yell at the lawyers and say, I don't know why we're here all the time. I've even seen them appoint masters. So like a person that they have to go to before going to court. And those people are not cheap. And so you would go, look, he wants to take Jimmy to soccer, and I think you should be signed up for basketball, and you take it to the master, and the master goes, well, Jimmy's played soccer for the last 5 years, he's playing soccer. No need for court intervention. Those are for the really bad cases. A lot of times if it's one party that's at fault, they may start punishing that party with financial sanctions or, just maybe reducing the residential time that party has so that they can't create the conflict. So like if you're withholding the kid or something like that, they're not going to keep giving you the kid. So if you're doing something just to make the other parent mad, one, don't do it. That's childish and selfish because you're not doing it for your kid. But two, the courts are generally pretty good. I mean, they're pretty common sense oriented. And so they're going to have very little patience for someone that is actively going out of their way to hurt the other person.
Mark, thank you so much. For more expert legal insights or to get trusted help with your situation, visit HodsonLawOffices.com or call the number on your screen to schedule your free consultation today. There's also a direct link below this video.